It is natural for people of other cultures to have a preconception of each other. A few weeks ago, I went to Lakeland for a friend's birthday party. I have known her and her family for 15 years. Her family is originally from Ireland, but previous generations have settled in Alabama as well as Lakeland. As I walk into the birthday party, my friend introduces me to her uncle, who, after retiring a few months ago, decided to move from Indiana to Alabama. As we shake hands, he asks my nationality, and I reply, I am Puerto Rican. He tells me he has been in Puerto Rico plenty of times and he thinks is one of the most beautiful countries he's ever been to. And I thanked him for the compliment. A few hours later, after singing happy birthday, everybody settled down and we sat in a circle. He is speaking to someone next to him, but all of a sudden he stops and he looks at me and he asks, "How did your family get here?" I look at him in confusion, but I answered. I told him that we flew from Puerto Rico to the United States. So we flew from Puerto Rico to New York. And he replies, "No, no, 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 no. How did your family migrate from your country to the United States?" And I looked at him confused, but I repeated it myself. I told him that we flew from Puerto Rico to New York, and then we drove to Connecticut to meet some of my family members there. And he was a little bit confused with my answer. Then he smiled at me and asks, "Were your parents from a higher class in your country that they could afford to get visas and plane tickets for your family?" I smiled at him, thinking he was joking. I answered in the nicest way possible, "My family and I did not need visas. We were already American citizens." He is completely puzzled. Then I said, "My family and I are Puerto Rican." His face turned red in embarrassment, and I looked around the room, and all the family members looked at me with this devastating faces. I look at him and start laughing, and he is laughing in relief. And he tells me, "I am so sorry. I thought you were Cuban. I hope you're not offended." The truth of the matter is, I didn't feel threatened. Cubans and Puerto Ricans have many similarities. I did feel a little offended for the simple fact that he has this preconception that Hispanics are illegal or have migrated to the States by boat or crossing the border. And many of people have that preconception of Hispanics. From my personal experience, it demonstrates that despite increases in diversity in our society, cultural stereotyping continues to fuel intergroup conflicts, disparities, and discrimination. Intelligent, athletic, lazy are used to describe individuals. The preceding adjectives pose no particular problem, but if used to describe towards members of a culture group or a particular race, these same adjectives may constitute as cultural prejudice or stereotypes. Cultural stereotype is automatically applying generalizations to every person in a cultural group or making generalizations about a specific culture based on the behavior of only few individuals. And we all do it. It is human nature. It is human nature to categorize almost everything in our lives. We categorize animals, types of cars, books, etc. According to psychologists, stereotyping serves as a heuristic, which is an experience based technique for a problem solving in the human brain. We categorize by age, race, and gender because it's the way our brain works, and it's the way our brain is wired. And the reason why is because that's the way we solve problems. And people use stereotypes as shortcuts to make sense of their social context. And this makes the task of understanding one's world less cognitively demanding.